Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is March 3, 2019, 12:31 a.m. in Birmingham. And two things I wanna mention here. One, Kushner, Jared's book. His peace plan. If it's got 7 years in it, it can't be accepted now. They can't do it. They cannot take it now. And here's why. The church will be raptured prior to the 7-year peace treaty being offered to the state of Israel, to the Jews. And there will have been a time of internal destruction, just the world turned upside down, because and I wanna, before I answer that, because it'll be answered right here fairly quickly. This Sally Kohn wrote a book, the author. She is the author of The Opposite of Hate. What is the opposite of hate? It's you. And it's me. So that was a really stupid title for a book, The Opposite of Hate. Just look at everything out there that's doing good. That's the opposite of hate. But look at yourself, Sally. You are that hate. You are the hate. You're the one that backed that Jesse Smollett guy. And we'll make his name Smaller. Jesse Smaller, because he wanted to make himself look bigger. He wanted himself a raise. He wanted to be bigger than he really is, so that somebody would pay attention to him, but he's not worth it. And certainly today, he's not worth it. He wasn't at that time. But he could have created a problem that would have caused a lot of people to die, if in fact that really happened, or he convinced millions that really happened. There would be a war in this country, and it would be ramping up today had the superintendent of the police department in Chicago not smelled a rat right off the bat. He's the one that figured it out quickly. Thanks to the police chief, brother in blue. Appreciate it. Now, let's get to the 7-year peace treaty. If there's a rapture of the church, and as many see, the rapture of the church will begin the 7 years, the final 7 years, then the Antichrist will have to be on the scene that day. He will have to be here that day to offer it tomorrow, because he'll break it halfway through. What if the rapture of the church took place and then he didn't offer it for another year, because this planet is gone crazy? And they're calling out for someone, please come, we need help. Be it God or be it the devil, we'll accept him. And there you go, they'll accept the Antichrist. So when he comes in, there aren't 7 years left. Whatever time he comes in, if he comes in 1 year after the rapture, or say a month after the rapture, he still can't offer a 7-year peace treaty. Now he does. I mean, this biblical, he does offer that. He doesn't keep it. It says broken in the middle of it. And my thing just froze up. I don't know if it's still working or not. But guys, Kushner cannot offer a peace treaty at all that's got 7 years in front of it. He can't do it. He would have to be the Antichrist to do that. He can offer a treaty and say it's possible that this treaty can be worked out for a determined amount of time, like 7 years, but it'll be shelved. I don't even believe that this one will require or go forward without requiring giving up land. And Netanyahu is not going to do that. He's not going to give up an inch of any part of Israel, especially Jerusalem, even if it's shared one day a year on some kind of holiday. No, that Jerusalem will never leave Israeli hands ever again for no reason, even through the Antichrist. It'll still stay with the Jews entirely, completely, 100% of the time. So we have people, we have this little girl that's wanting to reduce the footprint. That means undo all that Trump had done and then add the size of the state and federal parks by another 75%. She wants to shut down all the coal mines. She wants to shut down all oil wells. And all of your travel will be by train, high-speed rail. You know what? There's not enough money to build a high-speed rail in this country. It'd have to go to every city. And so there goes the money. I mean, that wiped it out, anything that there was. And also keep in mind, money becomes useless. 99.999% of the people will be affected by this. 0.0001% of the people will not. And that'll be people like her, Sally Kohn, and those who rode that carriage into town yelling it from the buggy top, you know? And all those who are for socialism. Socialism in itself is going to create a civil war. A lot of people will die even at that time when it occurs. But there will be a time when their money is worthless, including yours, Sally Kohn. Why? Because they said that the Bible says, like the Bible says, 7 years and then it's broken at 3.5 years. The Bible also says they will hide in the rocks and in the cracks from my face. But their money can't fit in there with them. So they'll throw their silver and gold into the streets so that they can hide. So there you go. That's a little bit to think about. And the biggest one to me is the full 7-year peace treaty. It's broken at midways. But again, if that determines the start date by the rapture of the church, well, where is he? The Antichrist is not here right now. And then they'd have to read it and ratify it. They'd have to go through legal phases to okay it, that's going to take weeks and weeks, if not months and months, where you're using up precious time. So when it is signed, it can't possibly be for a full 7 years. You spent 6 months trying to get this treaty tweaked. So this is not the time. It'll be the Antichrist, and it'll be when the church is left and everything's gone back crap crazy. That's when somebody will come in and take one of these peace treaties that's on this stack of other peace treaties and say, let's use this one. Jody Wolf Expoz.